taking me to work. A little bit later start here. I had to make a phone call before I got on this video, but heading into work. Car's driving me, feeling good. Had volleyball last night, played on a league for the pizza restaurant. We got a little team together, and we're bad. I mean, I think we're second to the last place in our little division. I think there's only 6 teams, but we're second, 6 or 7, and we're second to the last. But we had a couple really good games. Our first game we were horrible. Second game we came back and they nipped us at the end. Man, we were so close. You know, one serve, the last serve that could have won it, hit the net, and then they came back and scored, and then it was over. And then the third game, boom, we won. And kind of a proud moment for me because I'm really not that great at volleyball, but I mean, I feel like I willed us to win that game. Serving wise, I think I got the last 10 points or 11 points serving, and then the last play, my last serve, I serve it, they lobby it back, and one of our guys hit it, and then I had to dive and do a dig, and I got the dig, and then somebody tipped it over, and we scored and won the game, and it was like, it was exciting. I felt good. I felt like, you know, I felt like an athlete. Maybe it's the peptides, I don't know. But, you know, kind of a weird situation. I wasn't feeling that great before I went to volleyball. Started moving around and, you know, getting some blood flowing and felt good. And as the games went on, I felt better. So, anyways, that's my volleyball story. But I'm heading in for a meeting for work here. And I've got a new philosophy with how we're dealing with things. The idea with the contracting business is to, I used to call it corporatize it, but I guess you could call it that, but more systematize it, get standard operating procedures or SOPs in place that handle every situation that comes up. So we at least have a protocol or a precedence or a strategy or a, company policy that handles every situation. So we had a situation yesterday. There were 3 patio doors that were getting installed on this home. For whatever reason, the installer, 2 of them, well, no, 3, all 2 of, okay. So the installer measured, and the height was messed up. So he measured one at, I'm trying to think what he did. So I think they were all 80 inches tall, but for whatever reason, he marked down that 2 of them were 82 inches tall. So what happens is when you install it, doesn't fit in the opening. So what our guys did was they cut into the header, which is the board that goes above the patio door, or any door or window will have a header, and that just gives it support over that opening because there's no studs holding the wall up. It makes like a bridge and it supports what's above it. And so they had to cut into that header 2 inches to get the door to fit. And so how we got into it was, or how I came to realize it was, our production manager's like, hey, the sales rep ordered 2 new doors for this customer, and those doors aren't cheap. And so there's a number of issues along the line of this, this situation. So we're like, okay, what are we doing? We canceled the order for the doors till we figure out what the heck's going on. Number one, the sales rep should not be ordering material. It's not in their wheelhouse. It's not their call. That's production. That's management. When there's a situation. 2, the guy who measured it ended up not being the installer that actually installed it. So that's an issue there, because generally our rule is if the installer mismeasures the window, they pay for that window or door, and we pay them to do a technical measure to make sure the numbers are right. And they mess up, it's on them. But the problem was, now another guy was installing it, so how do you take the money that you would have paid them for the labor and take the money out for the door when they didn't actually do that door? So that gets sticky. And then the guys that actually did the install, cutting that header board, it's did they call the office? Did they get approval? Did the homeowner sign off on it? All that stuff. So 3 separate situations that all need to be dealt with, but all can be dealt with a standard operating procedure, a protocol that dictates how things work. Okay? So before I actually got the real story from the installers, which I'll go into in a minute, I had already come up with the procedure. So the guy that measures it needs to double check, triple check, quadruple check his work. I mean, that's just it. The mistakes are made, but when mistakes are made, the person that makes the mistake needs to be accountable for that, because these guys, the labor that we use are subcontractors. They have their own businesses, they do their own thing. We are hiring them to do a job, and we expect the job to be done right, just like our homeowners who hire us expect us to do the job right. We're basically an exterior general contractor in most cases. And so that was a screw up. So that's double, triple check. I came up with some new work orders that are basically going to be the salesman's measurements, and then the installer puts his measurements underneath the sales guy's measurements. So that way, if there's a huge discrepancy, at least that installer will be like, okay, now I get it. Okay, I'll double, triple check, make sure, okay, my numbers are absolutely right. The sales guy was wrong. And we'll always go off the measuring guy's numbers, because the sales guy, is only measuring for price anyways. They're not doing like a technical measure. The other thing we added is a number system. So we're gonna have stickers with 1 through how many windows and doors, and they're gonna take a sticker and put one in each corner of each window. So when the measure guy does go there, he will see the number, he'll see the sheet, he'll say, okay, no, window number 1. We've had a lot of situations, way too many situations, where we're supposed to do 10 windows and the installer measures 11 windows, and we don't know which windows are which, or he was supposed to measure 10 and he measures 9, and it's just like, I'm not a genius. I'm just a guy who solves problems. And it's like, come on, people, we've been doing windows for 20 years. And it's like, we haven't figured out how to get past this issue. So the number system, the work order, and then it's going to have everything on there. The homeowner signs off. The sales guy signs off. And that's how it goes. The guy goes out, he measures it for the technical measurements. That comes back to the office. Production manager goes over it, gets a confirmation, sends it to the sales rep. The sales rep signs off on it, and then the windows are ordered. And then for the installer actually doing the install, hopefully it's the same one that was measuring, but it depends, because these guys get busy or they go out of the country a lot for some reason. But the guy who gets the order, they need to measure the window and the opening again to make sure it's going to fit before they take the old window out. We've had so many situations where the window is not right. It's sized a couple inches too short, a couple inches too wide. And these guys have techniques that they can do to make it fit, make it work. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. So it's got to be a judgment call of production manager and management, not the installer on the job, because we got to make sure that the homeowner's okay with it and everything fits with our, quality control. So we've had tons of situations where they rip the window out and then the new window doesn't fit right, and they try to either jerry rig it in or they can't do anything and they have to board it up of other things. And a window takes 4 to 6 to 8 weeks to actually get manufactured from these manufacturers. That's one thing about windows a lot of companies don't like to deal with and homeowners don't really understand. It's like these windows are all custom made at a factory in Minnesota or Iowa, and it takes time for them to make them. 4, 6, 8 weeks, sometimes longer depending on the season and other things going on. So they need to make sure before they take the old window out that the new window is going to fit in there. And if it doesn't, they need to contact management, who then will contact the homeowner and, will take the advice of the installer about, okay, how are, what are your possible solutions for this, and then come up with it. And then third was the installer or sales guy ordering materials. It should never happen. That is a no-no. I mean, last winter we were a little bit slower. We did lay off most of our staff, and so we allowed some of the senior sales consultants to actually to get their jobs done, because they wanted to get paid on them and stuff. We let them kind of project manage, and maybe didn't have enough oversight, or I don't know, but so cutting that off completely. We have a production manager, we have project managers, we have service techs, we have an entire production department that's running pretty well and does great work, gives a shit, and deals with issues. So sales reps should be out, and so that's going to be. And then the other thing is our supplier. What are they letting a sales rep order material for? I mean, so we go to the supplier. These are the only people that can order. That's it. If a sales rep needs something for whatever reason, they need to get approval, and we need to order it for them, and then they can pick it up or whatever. But that's definitely a no-no. There's no reason why they need to be involved in that, and so that should take care of that. And the sales reps need to know you're not ordering material, and who authorized you to order $4,000 worth of patio doors. I mean, that's asking a lot. So taking that, putting it in our SOP, developing an SOP so everything's out in the open. As issues come, we deal with it, we add to the SOP. Things don't work in the SOP, we take it out, whatever. So we're adjusting it. It's a fluid document until it gets until it gels and really serves our customers and the business. So back to the story of the situation. The installers come in yesterday, nice guys, goofy guys, and I'm saying, so there was a situation where the patio door didn't work and you cut into the header. He's like, oh yeah, the blah 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 blah. So it ends up, the story is, the guy the homeowner was like an old older carpenter craftsman guy who does a lot of woodworking, and they realized the door wasn't going to fit. They talked to the guy. The guy was okay with cutting into the header, and actually helped them cut the header. He had the tools to cut the header, and so he was the one actually that helped cut the hole. So just trying to figure out what the sales rep did or said, because the sales rep went back and said, basically ordered 2 new doors and supposedly, I haven't got the full story from him yet, supposedly told the homeowner that we were going to replace the header, which is basically ripping the drywall up, the outside of the house. I mean, it's a huge project to change out a header. And then put it back, then do the drywall, then fix the siding, then, install a new door. And the problem is the old door, the original doors, we can't use because they were installed in somebody's house. They're gonna have caulk on it and screws, and it's just, so we gotta find out exactly what the sales rep said. But the truth is the homeowner helped the guys do it. And he was obviously fine with it. He said they left and the guy was, happy with everything, and he was, he was good. So that's one thing with our little production meeting that we got today. Production sales meeting, and go over that and see what's going on. But anyways, that's just a little bit about what's going on. Wanted to brag about my volleyball, and then kind of say what I'm into as far as getting this business up, going. Goal is to get us up to a certain size and really reevaluate whether we want to sell it, move on, or keep building it. So we'll see. All right, well, have a good day.